just know too that your next level, it's your next level is not going to come from doing more. It's not. Your next level is about it's gonna come from doing less of what drains you and doing more of what excites you, of doing more of what energizes you, of doing more of what makes your heart sing. That is what your next level is. Booked out, burned out, and 1P away from a breakdown. Welcome back to another episode of the Charyse Williams Show. You guys, let's just hop into it. So, the reality of it is that you did not leave a broken system. For those of you who have left, right? But you didn't pivot into the career that you're in now, or function in the way that you are functioning now, right? You didn't. Bottom line is, leave a broken system to create your own broken system with your name on it. Can we just recognize that for just a hot second, right? So if you are booked, and here's the thing, being booked is fabulous. If you are not burned out, or if you don't see burnout on the horizon, and if you're not holding your pee in between clients or patients, and if you're not resenting, when you look at the schedule and your whole life is just shattered when you look at, you pull up your calendar, pull up your schedule, you guys, that's not what we're going for. That is not what we're going for. And I see it all too often. So in this episode really is the permission slip, if you will, and a loving wake up call, because that's how I roll, to do it differently, you guys, because let's talk about real freedom. Real freedom, having an aligned business model, right? And how you build your practice that reflects your brilliance, that honors your values, that respects your boundaries, and that actually feels good to run. That's what we're after, is it not? That is exactly what we're after here. And so, this is what I need you to know: being booked out does not equal success if you are merely surviving. Now, don't get me wrong. We want to be booked, whatever booked looks like for you. But the key point here, the rub is, if you are just surviving this, I am guessing that is not why you just decided to start your own business, right? Just because your calendar is full, it does not mean that your business is working. It actually might mean quite the opposite. Again, hear me on this. If you are burning out, or if you're on the verge of burnout, or if you know, like, there's no way I can keep up this pace, and if you're, quite frankly, if you're just not happy, if you're not fulfilled, right? If your nervous system is a wreck, like if it's shot, and the way that you know it's shot, number one, you are always in a super excitatory state. You feel like at any given time that the ball is going to drop, like the bottom's going to fall out from underneath. You feel like you can't step away. You feel like you can't even breathe. You actually are holding your pee in between clients or patients. That's a problem, right? If you are low key resenting your patients or your clients, not that you don't love them, you absolutely do, but because you have so many and you're so stretched, and like if you're just in that state of go, 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 you can't breathe and you can't think of outside of just doing, getting through the day, getting through the schedule, and it's a wake up, rinse, and repeat, that type of thing, that's not a flex. I'm here to call. It's not a flex. It is literally a red flag. It is a red flag that something is out of alignment. And I don't care how much money you're making. And particularly if you're not making that much money, but you're still like booked up and burnt out, or heading for burnout, right? And so here's the thing, as nurses, as nurse practitioners, we especially struggle with this, because if we're being honest, we've been conditioned. We have literally been, probably since nursing school, we have been, and for sure, once we started working as a nurse, um, we really have been conditioned to overgive, to override our bodies, right? How many of you have ever said, "Oh, I can hold my pee for 12 hours"? I know I have said that time and time again. I've said it for so many decades. Literally, I've said it for decades. Like that's a badge of honor. Like, we listen, we're nurses. That is not healthy. It's not even healthy, but we've normalized it, right? And you guys, I'm an ICU nurse, right? So there were time, many shifts where I didn't get to pee for 12 hours. I just didn't drink anything so that way I wouldn't have to pee. But like seriously, we've been conditioned to overgive, ignore our bodies, ignoring our needs, all in the name of dedication, or all in the name of professionalism, or all in the name of compassion, or whatever the case may be, which is a bunch of bull. But here's the thing, in entrepreneurship, when you have your own business, that is just like next level martyrdom. And again, it's not the flex. It's not a flex at all whatsoever. And so what freedom really looks like, what freedom actually looks like, you guys, it looks like spaciousness. Yes, you want to be booked, but what does booked mean for you? Not what has been modeled, so you think that that's what it should be, because the reality of it is what has been modeled for us. It's burnout, it's hustle, it's grind, it's sun up to sundown, whatever. It's like, think about how you worked at the bedside when you were when you were working at the bedside. Maybe some of you still are, right? But then you bring that same mentality, that same type of schedule or whatever into your current business. You just replicated what you were trying to leave, right? Why? And I get why, because that's what's been modeled. So we do what we see. And particularly if we see another nurse or another nurse practitioner, or another provider that's like crushing it, at least seemingly crushing it, but that's what we see them doing, then we think, oh, okay, that's what I got to do then. No, you guys, spacious. What freedom really looks like in your business is spaciousness in your calendar. It is being able to pee when you need to go pee. It is clients or patients that literally give you life, like they energize you, not suck your soul dry. You know what I'm talking about. We love them. We love them. You know we do. But if it's to the point where you're like, oh my God, like it's sucking your soul dry, then you know that there's a shift absolutely must be made. Okay. If your pricing, okay, we're going to go there. If your pricing doesn't reflect the true value, or doesn't reflect your level of brilliance, doesn't reflect the level of transformation that you're providing, if you're still trading time for money, you guys, that's time out for that. We're not doing that anymore. It makes my heart crumble, literally, when I talk to nurse practitioners, both, who say, "Oh yeah, well, I signed someone up and I charged, X amount for for the consult, or I'm charging X amount for consults, or I'm charging X amount for a visit." I'm like, wait, that is such an outdated business model, because again, you're trading time for money. I don't care if you charge $1,000 an hour. I mean, maybe I kind of do, but not really. But here's the thing, y'all aren't. You're not charging 1,000 per hour, right? But here's the thing: there are only so many hours in the day. So if you have built your business, or are building your business on a trading time for money model, there's not enough hours in the day. So we've got to switch that. You guys see me talk all the time about really packaging your services in such a way where, again, it honors your time, honors your organs, honors their transformation, the outcomes that they're getting or that they're going to get, right? And that is not priced by the hour. Okay, that's a whole nother episode for another time. But you want to have systems, right? So pricing, absolutely, you want to have systems that support you, that don't suffocate you. That's the whole point of having systems, particularly if you're a solopreneur, like if you're running your business solo. But here's the thing: regardless whether you're running it solo or whether you have team, even more so, I would say, if you have a team, you have to have systems. And those systems are designed, and they're your systems, right? That you get to create, but they should be created in such a way that it provides freedom for you. Okay. Okay. I feel like I was on my soapbox for a little bit on that one. And can we just like literally just stop glamorizing burnout? Can we stop glamorizing like this hustle and grind? It doesn't take that. You guys, when I talk about spaciousness in my schedule, or in your schedule, right? And I talked about, we typically do what we see modeled. Let me just share with you. And some of you guys know this, but I know we have a lot of new listeners here. So hey, new listeners. So glad that you're here. So my schedule for the last, I can't even tell you how many years now, is this. I work Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Thursdays. Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, I'm off. And when I say off, I'm literally not seeing clients, right? So I don't do any forward facing. I might do a little, like maybe admin stuff here or there, or actually prepare stuff so that I can hand it off to my VA. But I'm not working. I'm literally not working. And I only see clients on Tuesday, Wednesdays, and Thursdays. And in fact, not only do I just see clients on Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Thursdays, but my day, like I don't even see my first client till after 12. Usually 1 or 2 o'clock is when my actual work day starts. And then I go to about 7:30, 8, because that's what works for me. I function better the latter part of the day. And let's be clear, from 2 to 8, that's not back to back to back to back to back. I rarely see more. I'm rarely with more than 4 clients in a day. I actually rarely, my happy place, 2 to 3 clients a day, 2 to 3 a day. And I know a lot of you are like, wait, what? Do you even make any money? Yes. Yeah, because number one, I'm not trading time for dollars, right? I'm not trading time for, yeah, time for dollars. I said that right. I thought I said it backwards. Um, so that's number one. So it's not about how much time I put in, but if you're wondering, if I work 20 hours a week, if I've worked 20 hours a week. And you guys, I've been able to build a multiple high six figure business with that schedule. Now, let me tell you this. So, and remember I mentioned they're not back to back to back clients. I may have a client at 2, like my first client at 2. My next one might be 4:30. My next one is usually at 6:30, 7, and I'm done. Like that is my schedule, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. People always ask, well, what do you do? What do you do for the rest of your day? Or what do you do from the time you wake up till 2 o'clock, until you see your first client? I do me. I do me. I refill my cup. We are so used to giving from an empty cup. I give, and I think, and if you don't take anything away from this podcast episode, refill your cup so that you can give from your overflow. It's a totally different experience giving from overflow than giving from an empty cup, or even giving from a cup that's half full. And so I wake up when I wake up. I don't set an alarm. I haven't woke up to the alarm in forever. I mean, let's have to catch a flight or something. But on a day-to-day basis, I wake up when I wake up, right? Which is typically, I don't know, 7, 8, sometimes 9 if I stay up really, really late. And then I typically meditate. I go sit on the balcony. I meditate. I journal. I visualize. Like I have a whole morning routine. And then I go walk. If you follow me on social media, you probably see me walking every day, every morning. And I do. I walk, and then I'll go into the gym and I'll lift. And then I come back and I might eat something, maybe not. I shower, and then I start getting myself together. And by that time, that's done. It's like 1 o'clock for sure. But again, I usually don't even start seeing clients until 2. So it's not a rush. I love my slow mornings. And so I'm sharing this with you guys, not to brag or anything like that. I'm sharing this with you because I need you to know that there is a better way. There is a better way. Okay. And again, we've gotten it twisted. We've gotten it in our head that we've got to work from sunup to sundown and give our family our leftovers, right? Give whatever we have left over from the day. That's what gets, poured into our husbands or our spouses or our kids or whatever the case may be. And no, it's time. We're done with that season. That era is over. So this is your wake up call. If that is the way you've been operating and function, you don't have to do that. You don't. You do need to make sure that what you are offering is. Well, I'll get to that in a second. I was going to say what you're offering brings you joy, absolutely, but it's also priced in such a way that you don't have to have 50 billion patients or clients, right? And I know what some of you are thinking, because I've heard this before. I remember mentioning this to my friend very early on, and she said, "Oh my God, I can't wait till I get to a place in my business where I can have that kind of schedule." Here's the thing: if you don't create that type of if that's your desire, right? And I'm not saying your schedule has to look like mine. It needs to look like what you want it to look like, not what you think it should look like. But if you don't create it to look the way that you want it to look, you'll never get there. You'll never get to the place in your business where you are working that. When I decided to change my schedule to that, I literally sat down and I said, okay, Charyse, what do you want? Because at that point, but up until that point, I had actually had a lot of clients. For me, I think I had like either 11 or 13 one-on-one clients. That's a lot. That's a lot. 11, 13 one-on-one holistic health coaching clients. And then I had a group coaching program. And I want to say, I don't know, I want to say I had like 10 people in that. That was a lot. That was just a lot of energy, a lot of time. And I said, okay, never. And I felt like I was going to pull my hair out. Money was fabulous, but I, I was like, I can't keep this up. I have no desire to keep this up, if I'm being quite honest. So at that point, I said, you know what? Once, well, at the time, it still is, but my program was a 12-month program. I think my group program was a 6-month program. But in any event, I said when people start dropping off, right? When they get to the end of the program, number one, I'm not replacing them because that's just too. It's too much, and I just don't want to work at that level, and it's not necessary. And so I chose to. I said I'm revamping my schedule. Like from this day moving forward, this is what it's going to be. Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. That's all I want to work. I love to create. I need this, but if my schedule is so jam packed, I can't create. Can you? No, because all you're doing is getting through the schedule, rinse and repeat. I don't know about you, but I didn't sign up for this life to do that. That's not the life that I envisioned for myself. That's not the business that I envisioned for myself. So we're going to stop glamorizing burnout. We're going to stop glamorizing jam packing our schedule because we think that that's what it has to be. Burnout isn't the cost of impact. In fact, it is the byproduct of misalignment. I want to say that again. Burnout isn't the cost of impact. It is the byproduct of misalignment. Okay. And it's not required, right? It's not required. And rest, can we just talk about rest for a second? And rest is not earned. It is required. Can we just let that sink in? Rest is not earned. It is required. It's absolutely required. Okay. For the way that you want to change lives, the level of impact that you guys want to make, it's going to require rest. It's going to require spaciousness. Okay. For you, it's going to require you to prioritize your health, your time, what's important to you. It's going to require you to prioritize filling your cup so that you can get from your overflow. Okay. You're meant to lead from your overflow. You literally are meant to lead from your overflow, not from survival. Okay. All right. Okay. And just know too that your next level, it's your next level is not going to come from doing more. It's not. Your next level is about it's gonna come from doing less of what drains you and doing more of what excites you, of doing more of what energizes you, of doing more of what makes your heart sing. That is what your next level is. Okay. So you might be thinking, I think I just have a time management problem. I need to get my time management under control. Perhaps, but I offer you this. What I would venture to say is it's likely a boundary issue. Seriously, it's likely a boundary issue dressed up as productivity, right? You don't think it's a boundary, but it's like, oh, I'm productive. I'm being productive. You're busy. Busy. I should have named this episode "Busy and Burnt Out." But seriously, so and you're clinging to the identity of the overbooked healthcare professional because either you're afraid of that, maybe you're afraid of that spaciousness. Maybe you're afraid that if you have spaciousness in your calendar, that you'll be perceived as lazy, either by yourself, by other people. Who knows? I don't know. But I definitely would encourage you to lean into that and kind of identify, okay, what does it mean if I do have spaciousness? I'm wasting time or what? What is it? What is it? Maybe you're afraid that, maybe you're afraid that you're not going to have enough if you do prioritize spaciousness in your schedule. I'm not sure. But what I do want you to do is I want you to lean into it and actually to do some digging in that arena. Okay. All right. So this is what I want you to know. I always have homework for you. I always have a takeaway. Well, more than a takeaway, but really homework. This is what I really want you to do. Something practical. I really want you to audit your current schedule and ask yourself a couple of questions. One, I want you to ask yourself, what clients or patients drain me? And maybe not Maybe, or maybe not the actual person, but what is it about that type of client that drains you, or patient that drains you? What is it? Listen, you don't have to tell anybody. This is you, but it's important that you identify this so that you can do more of what excites you and remove what doesn't, remove what's draining you. Okay. So, what clients drain you? Which offers, if you have multiple offers, which offers need to be either repriced or retired? Because again, if it does not excite you, you should not be offering it. If it does not, I'm going to repeat that again. If it doesn't excite you, you don't need to be offering it. Okay. So what offers or offer, or maybe it's just one offer, needs to be repriced and or retired. And the third question I want you to ask yourself is, where am I overriding my body in the name of serving? That's a big one. Okay. It's your moment of truth, right? And then I just want you to pick one place to literally reclaim your power this week, not sometime, not someday. This week, this is about action, you guys. So either cancel the energy sucking call, raise your rates, right? Change, block off a Friday, whatever it is. Pee in peace, my friend. Do some, like, take action, whatever that needs to be. Okay. Again, you did not leave your job or leave a system that was broken just to build another system that resembles the same thing and then put your name on it. This is your business. You get to create it the way you want it to be, the way you want it to be. You're not here to just be surviving your business. You're here to build the business that liberates you and that transforms lives, transforms people's health, right? Okay. And so let me just say this. If you want, like, if you truly, truly want to build a business that respects your time, respects your nervous system, reflects your brilliance, and creates real income without burnout, then guess what? You need to join us inside the Quantum Leap Collective, because that's what we do. This is where freedom and leadership and cash flow meets. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to drop the link down below in the show notes and join us. Okay. And so two things, this is two things I want to do. I'm going to ask you to do. One, join us in the Quantum Leap Collective. Two, share this episode with someone that you know is booked and burned out, or about to be burned out if they keep at the same pace, right? Share this with them, because this might be the wake up call that they need. Okay. So those are my only two asks. Actually, I'm going to ask a third thing. I want you to share with me, if you feel inclined, send me a DM on social media. Send me a DM. I'm sure my links are down below. Will be down below in the show notes. Send me a DM, and I would love to hear what you identified from those three questions that I just asked you to ask yourself, ask and answer for yourself. Okay. All righty, my dears. Thank you so much. As always, I love you. I appreciate you. And I will see you next time on the next episode of the Charyse Williams Show. Bye for now.